Hey, this is Totu Bravo. Welcome back to the channel. We're out here to do another video on our Centerpoint Wrath 430 and the bolts that we've chosen to use. Now, I know we've just released a video where I spoke about the scope being zeroed for a 400 grain arrow, but I find myself in a bit of a situation because I want to run a lighted nock. I think the value of a lighted nock is great. You know, I think being able to look back at your shot on the deer and that lighted nock, giving you a better idea of the path that the arrow has traveled, giving you an idea where you might have hit on that animal if it's a questionable shot. I think the benefits of those things far outweigh the additional weight, and there is some additional weight obviously with the addition of a lighted nock. What we have here is some new Fletch nocks. I don't know if you've seen these. I'm sure you have. There are 30, I want to say they were right around 33 grains a piece, if I'm not mistaken, give or take. And what I have out here today is a regular, this is arrow number 13, so this arrow weighs 399.7 grains with a 100 grain practice broadhead, and arrow number 10 with the new Fletch lighted nock with the 100 grain practice tip comes in at 428.2 grains. So we're looking at 29 grain difference in weight, and we've also chronographed these two arrows. That weighs 428.2 grains, chronoed between 402 feet per second and 407 feet per second when we shot it. So still over 400 feet per second, but a considerable difference when you compare it to the, again, this is arrow 13, the 399.7 grain arrow, which chronographed at 419 feet per second and 422 feet per second. So a considerable difference in speed with that additional whatever that came out to, I'm sorry, with that additional 29 grains of weight, give or take, 28, 29. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot the 400 grain arrow at our target downrange here at our current speed ring setting, just to validate zero again at 20 yards. We're at 20 yards if I haven't mentioned that. And then we're going to adjust the speed ring for the difference between 402 and 407, we'll just say 404 or 405. We'll set it for 405 and see if we hit at 20, and then we'll move back to 30 and 40. I just want to see if I can get a good compensation on the speed on my speed ring, and the scope does in fact adjust well. I don't, like I said in the previous video, I don't want any odd aiming points in that scope. I want it to be as simple as possible, and for me, I'm willing to go, if I can't get it to go right and be a simple process, I'm willing to sacrifice that weight for speed and accuracy, like I mentioned in the other video, and getting into that kill box behind the elbow. So, but we're going to give it a shot because I would really like to have lighted nocks. So that's enough yapping. Let's put our control bolt down range, and then we'll fire the one with then we'll shoot the one with the lighted nock just to see what the drop difference is at 20, if anything, and then we'll move back to 30 where I'm almost positive we'll see a difference in drop, and then we'll have to adjust the speed. All right, this will be our control shot. Here we go, 20 yards. All right, that was low left control shot. Looks well. All right, heavier arrow with the lighted nock. There we go. Make sure we're in frame. We're going to go for the target left top target. All right, let's go down range and check it out. All right, here we are, 20 yards, lighted knock, non-lighted knock. Similar, a little bit of difference in flight left and right, but could have been me. Too early to tell. I think when we get back to 30, we'll see the difference. So 20 yards, I don't think there's enough here. 20 yards, I don't think there's enough here to make any call yet. All right, we're at 30 yards. Now we're transitioning to our practice broadheads. So, first shot, 30 yards with our lighter grain arrow. Arrow number 7. There we go. 30 yards, middle, bottom target. All right, reload. All right, we are reloaded. Next shot, arrow number 11. Practice broadhead. Here we go. This is the heavier arrow. Lighted knock. 30 yards. All right. Let's go downrange and take a look. All right, well, that was our 30-yard series. So, lighter arrow, heavier arrow. I really didn't see the difference that I thought I would, to be honest. I thought I'd see a bigger difference in the performance, but obviously not. So I'm pretty happy so far. So let's go ahead and push it out to 40. Well, so far, definitely not the results I thought I would get. So now we're at the 40 yards. I may have been totally wrong. Oh, wind's picking up. We gotta get this done before the weather hits. Looks like we got some weather rolling in. So let's get this 40-yard shot. All right, this is our lighter arrow. 40 yards, bottom box, right side. All right, let's reload. Practice broadhead, 40 yards. This is where we should, by all means, see a difference. Right side, top box. And there it is. There's the drop. All right, so here we are. So now you can see where the heavy arrow made itself known. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not. That's not where we were hitting 40 yards before with the control arrows. So I don't know what happened, but you do see a drop there. So I'm wondering, why don't we go ahead and pull these arrows, and we'll start at 40 again, and just that speed ring come back to 20. 40 yards, speed ring down to 400, maybe just a tick over 400. We're gonna go top box, left side. We hit the same spot. All right, another speed ring adjustment. We're at right around 401. We're going to take it all the way down to like 3. Looks like maybe 390, 396. So 396 is our current speed adjustment on the speed ring. Same heavy arrow, arrow number 9. 40 yards. center mass. See if that adjustment makes a difference. Here we go. Wow. Similar spot, it looks like. I mean, we're up and down, we're fantastic. I mean, as far as left to right, we're center mass, it's perfect. But we are not picking up. Ah, I know where I'm screwing up. You know where I'm screwing up? I'm still using the 40-yard dot for when the crossbow was set up for the I screwed up. I actually made this video a lot longer than it needs to be. What I did wrong was I am shooting now using the same dot that I had marked for 40 yards with a 400 grain arrow. I'm now shooting almost a 430 grain arrow. That dot is now my 30-yard dot, and the next dot down would be my 40-yard dot. I may have wasted a ton of time. So what I'm saying is the tip of the triangle was 20 yards on the previous setup. The triangle itself was 30 yards, and the next bottom dot reticle was 40 yards with the 415 feet per second speed ring setting. Shooting a heavy arrow, we should be down to 402, which we had it. We were still hitting within the kill zone, funny enough, but I was utilizing the 30-yard pin. I'm willing to bet now if I use the next pin down, which will be the 40-yard pin at this slower speed setting, I think we'll be right on. Let's check it out. All right, we're back to our original speed setting, which is about maybe 420. So let's look at that target again. That looks like that's what we need. Try it one more time. Keeping it at that speed setting. All right, let's validate. Here we go. Get them nuts. Well, we sorted it out. We wasted a bunch of time, but we got it figured out. We're going to go ahead and put a picture up on the screen with a couple pointers and show you what the hell we figured out for us. Your mileage may vary. Hopefully not. Hopefully you figured it out quicker than I did. 30-yard validation. I think I'm in frame good enough for government work here. 30 yards. We got a little weeble wobble going on here. There we go. Dead on. Perfect shot. Perfect. All right, we're back to where we started, back to 20 yards. This should be our final validation. 20 yards, center mass. Dead on. That's where we need to be. No flinch on that shot. Well, the old cell cams are burning up. All right, let's have some final thoughts. I appreciate you guys watching. If you're watching, maybe this will benefit somebody that has the same bow with a similar setup, and maybe I can save you some time. Or at least get you on the right track through my mistakes, right? So I probably made this a lot longer than it needed to be. I've mentioned it a couple times. We ended up with the exact same, or very, very, very close, because I have it marked on here on the speed ring, almost the exact same setting as what we had for the 400 grain arrows. What changed is our points of aim, or the dots, the hash marks, the crosshairs on the scope. Excuse me, I screwed it all up in the beginning, but I'm not going to edit it. I'm going to leave it in there so you guys can see the process. So what we ended up with was heavier arrows, same speed setting on the speed ring of the scope, just different points of aim. So now the entire triangle is 20 yards. So triangle center mass, or where you want to hit, is 20 yards. The next dot down, or the next aiming point, is 30 yards, and then the next aiming point down, which is the next dot, the top third of that dot is 40 yards. So I would imagine, 45 yards would be the entire dot, and then we would go down to the top third again on the next dot for 50 yards. We haven't shot it at 50 yards, we've shot it 20, 30, and 40. And that's where most of my my shots are going to go to. That's the distance I'm going to shoot at mostly. Now I will take this out to 50 yards just to validate that next and final aiming point. Not final of what's provided in the scope, but final for me. 50 yards is probably the max distance that I'm comfortable going. The arrows performed well. The broadheads, again, performed extremely well. I even managed to cut myself removing this one. They are razor sharp on the back also. These Magnus broadheads, man, they're awesome. I'm completely sold on these. These have been shot over and over and over again, and they are still sharp. The nocks, we're going to talk about those in a separate video. Yeah, they've performed each and every time as they should. No failures with those, so I'm very happy with that. So this is Toe2 Bravo. I got plenty out of this video. Hopefully you guys will get something out of it if you watch the entire video and you have a similar setup. Perhaps I saved you some time. So I appreciate you watching. Till I see you out at the range again, thank you.